You said 516-431-1000.
That's the general.
Long Beach City Hall.
Yeah. Does that not work? What's the City Hall Wi-Fi? Yeah.
Hey, please don't put that pressure on me.
Yeah. Should work.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
What, shut the computer?
Like, I'll be 7.
I did forget this network.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach held Tuesday, May 19th at 7 p.m. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Johnson. Present. Councilmember Ennis.
Here.
Councilmember Reinhardt.
Here.
Vice President Fiumara. President Finn.
Present.
Let the record indicate the presence of City Manager Dan Creighton and Corporation Counsel Greg Kalnitsky. We will now have a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out to our second meeting of May. We have a very full lineup tonight. I'm sure you're all very excited about that. A lot of things to get to, so we'll go right to Dan's City Manager's report, please.
All right, thank you, Brendan. As Brendan said, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being out tonight. This is going to be a long meeting, so we have a big agenda with multiple public hearings, so I'll keep the City Manager's report pretty brief. And what I'm sure is a relief to many, the Long Island Railroad and its unions announced last night that the strike has ended and that normal service would be fully restored by 4 p.m. earlier today. The city was following the situation closely through daily briefing calls with the MTA and Long Island Railroad for the better part of 2 weeks, and we're in close contact with our regional partners at the county and state level. When it became apparent the strike was going to continue through the weekend and into the work week, we did what we could to support our residents by supplementing the N33 bus to the A train and the Rockaways with buses of our own for both morning and evening rush hour commutes. Now that the Long Island Railroad is back in full service, we have stopped those shuttle buses. Thank you to our team for being on top of the situation and for stepping up to help our residents through a less than ideal situation. I also want to note that on the weekend we had an incident at the city's wastewater treatment plant wherein an overflow into the city's drainage system and the bay occurred. DPW followed all protocols and regulations and was in close coordination with the proper authorities. An alert was sent out in accordance with regulations and remained in effect for 24 hours. The plant is running normal operations at this time and there is no residual impact. There is still some debris in the pipes, so there may still be some dark tinge in the bay. So if you see that, that's what that is related to. Cleanup operations have started. They did start immediately on Sunday and were continued until completed. So on to a happier note for the weekend, I'd like to give kudos to the city's Arts Council on another extremely successful Porch Fest. It was a great day of music and community and what has quickly become one of the city's more popular events. I'd also like to give a shout out to Tyler and Patty for a great job. They've been spearheading this for the last few years. Great job, everyone. Thank you also to the Long Beach Kiwanis, our legislator, Pat Mullaney, and our police department for holding the annual Bike Safety Rodeo on Sunday. In a community that values biking as much as we do, instilling safe habits is a good practice, so thanks to all involved. At 9 a.m. this Saturday, Ocean Beach Park officially opens for the weekend. That's great news. The weather is currently not looking that great, but we're excited for the unofficial start of summer. The 48th Annual City Managers Race to Remember Those Who Made the Supreme Sacrifice will take place at 8 a.m. this Sunday, the 24th. The 10-mile race is dedicated to its founder, Ralph Kaplan, and starts at Laurelton and Park. To learn more or to register for the event, please visit longbeachny.gov/races. Our annual Memorial Day Parade, in conjunction with the Joint Veterans Group, will start at Ohio in the West End at 10 a.m. on Monday the 25th. The entire community is encouraged to join as we honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our freedoms, especially on this, our country's 250th anniversary. Please note that in honor of Memorial Day, City Hall, Magnolia Center, Rec Center, and Ice Arena will all be closed and the buses will run on a holiday schedule. East End sanitation pickup will still occur. Well, with that, Brendan, I'll conclude my manager's report and wishing everyone a happy Memorial Day weekend. Let's pray for our armed forces and for an improved weather forecast for this upcoming weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. I guess let's get on with the agenda. Gary, please.
Our first item tonight is a public hearing for the purpose of giving citizens an adequate opportunity to publicly present their views on the general summary of the capital improvement program for the 5-year period from July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2031.
Okay. So the first item, is this the,
Capital budget.
oh, okay, we're going to move it on to we're going to do it last, right? The one that we added? Okay. All right, so the first item is a public hearing for the 5-year capital plan covering the period from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2031. Ken Arnold, our Commissioner of Public Works, will present the capital program, but I'd like to make just a few comments first. After years of underinvestment, this plan continues to responsibly ensure a state of good repair for our infrastructure. We're still working towards this goal, but are not there yet. That being said, there are some big-ticket but necessary items that I'm sure will garner some serious discussion, but there are also items that may never materialize for a variety of reasons. I think this is a responsible plan that takes a serious approach towards evaluating the city's needs and a sober approach to balancing those needs with our fiscal situation. Since it is a 5-year plan, there are also items that are not that we're not positive yet whether we're going to advance or not, based on questions as to the future of development in the community. However, this plan and what we need to look at is, however, this is just a plan, and what we need to look at is the potentiality of needing this work for a plan. So the vote on it is not necessarily to vote to do all the projects that are in the plan, but it's a plan moving forward for projects that we may have to undertake. So again, it doesn't mean that we're approving the projects. That will come while voting on the bonding as well as the individual resolutions for the project themselves. I commend Ken for the work he did in preparing this plan, and I'll hand it over to him so he can walk you all through it. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Dan. The slides. So thank you for having me here today. So the capital plan is an annual event. It's a 5-year plan. We solicit our projects through all the department heads, and we discuss their needs. And the city manager makes recommendations. I make recommendations to the city manager, and we proceed forward from there. Next slide. Next one. So this year's capital plan for 2027 has $29 million in general fund, 2.4 in sewer fund, and $8 million in the water fund. As the city manager said, this is a plan. This does not mean we're borrowing this money. That comes to this body later on as under the bond ordinances. Last year, we did 2 bond ordinances to offset borrowing money that we didn't need in the beginning of the year. And also, you also will get all the contracts to approve separately from the bond ordinance. Next slide. So next slide is the process that we go through, a timeline. When this gets posted, this is just information for people to read online if they're interested in how we do our capital process. Next slide. Next slide. In this past year, the department completed 14 highlighted projects listed below. Next slide. We finished Sherman Brown Park. Next. We just completed the turf field, which was one of our biggest projects of the year. Next slide. This is an interesting project. We had Magnolia refurbished. This was actually done without city funding. The manufacturer of the materials had identified an issue with the materials, and they came back at no cost for the city, and they fixed a past capital improvement. Next slide. This is our overlay program from last year. The red are the city-funded roads, and the green are the utility-funded roads. As you can see, the city's been very successful in having utilities resurface roads from curb to curb when utility work is done throughout the city. And again, that is all done at a savings to the city. Next slide, please. Some big ticket projects that we talked about last year that needed to get done. This includes Indiana Firehouse HVAC. Shore Road was one of our big repaving projects, along with West Broadway. Next slide. The pool heater for the rec center was redone after years of failure and temporary systems. The boat ramp was refurbished as part of the critical infrastructure project. Oh, no, actually, the Long Beach Diversion Project. So that is now open. The boat ramp is now open to the public. Next slide. We did Magnolia Center HVAC. This project, we had received a grant during the year, so this saved us about $520,000 of borrowed money that we would have borrowed otherwise. The dugouts were done as part of the turf field project. This was done by CSCA membership using capital funds, and they did an excellent job, and I thank them for the work. The next slide, please. Sand filters at the water treatment plant. So we have the first two are completed. That's the photo of the first one. There's another one on the other side of the wall. And this year we'll be doing 2, possibly 4 more, depending if we get grant funding again. Some valve replacements were done at the plant. We had these valves were failing at a regular basis, and instead of going around in circles and keep fixing the valves, we had them replaced. Next slide, please. So this plan that we're presenting today has a number of projects already in construction. We all know about the North Shore Critical Infrastructure, the diversion project. We have this sand screen installation. These have been ongoing projects for a number of years. We have just bid and will be bringing to this body at the next meeting the roadway and pedestrian safety program for around City Hall and the Long Island Railroad Station. This is another grant-funded project. We continue to do asphalt overlays, and then we have a job out to bid for the water treatment plant alum tank compliance requirements, and then the Walks Phase 2 is out to bid again as we speak. Next slide. And these are just a couple of pictures of these projects. Next. Next. This is the, I'll point out, this is the roads that we'll be doing as part of the City Hall Railroad Station overlay. Those are in red, and then there's a couple pedestrian areas where we're going to put sidewalks in, rehab sidewalks, curb bump outs, sort to increase safety of the pedestrians walking in the area. Next slide, please. So we have upcoming projects that are in design that this capital project will fund construction of if we get the bond ordinances. Again, there are a number of large projects, the City Hall facade, which we'll speak to in a second. We have the records room renovation for police headquarters. This is a partially grant-funded project. We have the fire department locker room for females. This project has gotten bigger because of an asbestos issue. We have an overlay for Armour and Kerrigan Roads on the east side of town. 2 projects that we did not get to this year. Pine Street roof and Recreation Center roof will be done this year. We had done some temporary repairs on both, but this year we'll be dedicated to get them completed. East Bay Drive is under design, and we'll have a design package going out to bid shortly. The water meters for commercial and municipal operations, we're in the process of putting together this package. And then the Army Corps of Engineers, they have delayed the replenishment project for the beach, but we still have the funding pending a bond ordinance that's included in this plan. Next slide. The plan also includes refurbishment of the basketball courts at Veterans Park, refurbishment of the boardwalk along the bay at Veterans Park. Next slide, please. And now I want to introduce Deputy Commissioner Steve Friedman. Steve has decades of experience in building facade or fenestration projects. He will present the findings of the facade study that this body approved about a year ago, and will describe why this is a critical project and is included in the capital plan. Steve?
All right, thank you. It's a short little history on how we got to this point. We brought in a facade consultant back in Q3 of 2025. We brought them in to review the shell of this building along with a masonry contractor to do probes so that we got a good view of what the inside of this building looks like from the interior of the building on out. Carrie, next slide. So a couple of the drivers for this restoration project is, some of it is very obvious. This facility is 50 plus years old as it was built in the 70s. Window and brick shelf angled deterioration, and I'm going to show you some photos after this to describe what this stuff looks like. We also have brickwork that's dislodging from the exterior of the building. Case in point, I had asked Commissioner De Palma to rope off the east side of this building by the ramp and the entryway into the police department because we have shelf angles that are so deteriorated that the brickwork is about to come down. So I've got to get some sidewalk sheds put up there for safety. Water infiltration inside the cavity, we learned from the probes there, that's causing some water and air infiltration. We also have the potential for mold growth inside the walls from the exterior on in. And we also, the exterior of this building doesn't meet any sort of energy code, and we're spending a tremendous amount of money in energy for this building just alone on the exterior of the building. Of course, what's important here too about this particular facility is that this is a critical function location for a Long Beach Fire Department and the police department. And again, a facade conditions assessment and probe evaluation, which I'm going to go into just to show you a couple of pictures. Next, Carrie. So we'll go through a couple. I pulled a couple of these photos out from our a very big conditions assessment report. Up on the top left there, you'll see what they call shelf angles, and I'll explain that a little bit. But if you look at those shelf angles, they're very deteriorated. They hold up above the glass, and they hold up the brickwork above the glass. Next slide, Kerry. What you see in the bottom left side there, that's up on the east wall of the building. You'll see that in the bottom left there, that they call them relief angles. What they do is they create a pressure differential for many courses of brick as you go up the top of the building. And if you look on the bottom right, you'll see that the brickwork is starting to dislodge from the side of the building. You see it buckling out. Next slide. Couple of photos on the bottom. The two bottom photos you see are called efflorescence, which is the salted minerals coming from the mortar of the brickwork that's on the exterior of the building. The cavity is so saturated that the mortar joints are starting to deteriorate, and that is the result of what happens. Next slide, Kerry. These relief angles on the bottom left-hand side, just want to point out, you see the relief angles going across in the horizontal. This goes around on all four sides of the building. These relief angles are deteriorated, and they're not allowing water to come out the face of the building. So this is where the deterioration continues. Next slide. So I guess, yeah, so here is just a rendering of what we think that this building is going to look like afterwards. Again, it's just a draft here. We have the City of Long Beach logo up there. We're looking to put a coating on the exterior of the building once the brickwork is complete. That way we're trying to match the colors of what's here now, because that's part of the preservation of what the city, this part of the city's fabric. And you'll see we have all new windows going in around the building. So on the east face of the building, we're doing part of the records renovation right now. But at the same time, where the police department is, we're going to be putting in ballistic type 4 glass for safety for our police officers. I don't know if there's one more slide there? Yeah. So I guess a couple of favorable outcomes here. We go to complete this particular this effort here. We'll have a structurally sound shell, and we'll be water infiltration free. We'll eliminate any kind of environmental hazard or mold growth. We'll have a positive airlock on all four sides of the building. We'll extend the life expectancy of this building probably by about 15 to 20 years. And of course, we'll be code compliant from energy. Once we enclose this building and replace the windows, our energy consumption is going to drop, and our energy costs are then going to drop as a result. And of course, City Hall will have itself a new renovation, a new appearance, I should say, similar to this photo I just put in. So that's the short of it.
So I'm just going to add a couple of things on this just so that you guys are aware. So we understand this is a big project. I believe the cost of this right now is listed as $10 million. The understanding is we're not sure yet what we want to do with this building, but this is in the plan, I wanted them to point this out specifically, because if we do end up keeping this work has to be done. As you see when you come in here, there's towels underneath the windows, collecting water from every time it rains, every time there's a wind blowing, you could hear it coming through the windows. This building is extremely poorly energy efficient. We lose a lot of heat in the winter, a lot of cooling in the summer. If we had it on right now, you'd know, but we don't. It's very open to the sun rays from on the south side of the building. There's significant deterioration of the brick. It's actually getting to the point where it's dangerous. It is a necessary project that we would have to do. If this building is kept, it is the only way to keep this building. It is, right now, I would bet that there's water infiltrating to the interior of the building. It's hard to say, but if it is, that will continue to damage the interior as well. And if you were to spend any money on this building, redoing floors and making it more modern, it would be a waste of money if you didn't do the outside skin first. So this is an important project to do, and that's why I wanted Ken and Steve to focus specifically on this, because this is a big ticket item. Now, that being said, it does not mean that we're approving that project. It just means that we have it in the plan, and obviously we'd have to do a bond authorization that you guys would vote on, as well as a resolution to actually put that project forward in the future. So this doesn't approve the project to move forward, it just approves it in the plan. So thank you guys for a great presentation.
Thank you. Ken, do you have more? Or?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
So now this plan that's proposed has a couple of projects that are going to be in design that will not be ready for construction this year because they're larger projects. That includes the reconstruction of East Pine Street, streetscape improvements for Park Avenue between National and Riverside, partially funded by a grant. We have the continuation of a couple HMP projects. These are FEMA projects. There are 3 projects that we want to continue with, and there was a number that we are discontinuing with FEMA. The ones we're continuing with are the rec center, water treatment facility, and the animal shelter. We have that canal dredging project that we expect to get the bulkhead assessment back shortly, and we'll be discussing that with you. We have a pending agreement with the consultant to do that work. And then we have a Clark Street bulkhead that we need to speak with residents and talk to you further about that project moving forward. One real quick item on the road reconstruction. One thing we have these have been challenging projects. Every utility in the road is an issue, including that grid. So I've run some frustration on projects getting delayed because I had to coordinate with that grid on how much work they can do. But I expect to sit down with them further and discuss our bigger project plan later this year. Next, the capital plan also includes some equipment for police, fire, and lifeguards. Again, that's all pending your approval of the bond ordinance and of the purchase recs when the time comes. And then finally, the last slide is a summary. Like we said, this capital plan is a $40.2 million capital plan over the 5 years. 29 of that is grant funds. We expect the September bond ordinance to be in the ballpark about $9.5 million. That does not include the facade project. The facade project is a later in the year project. That design package is being finalized over the next few months. Sewer and water funds, $10.4 million in this capital plan for 2027. Again, the September bond ordinance, we expect needing 4.1 for the projects that are most critical. And then we have grant funds that are offsetting some costs also. So in summary, it is a capital plan that's put together on the infrastructure needs of the city and equipment needs of the city. There's a lot of items. We tackled a bunch this past year, especially on some of the bigger buildings with the HVAC, but the department continues to move forward. And I want to thank the support of various departments that help us get these things done, especially Joe Brand during the turf field project. That project went as smooth as it could happen, and his cooperation was a big deal in getting that done that successfully. Open for questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ken. It's a good presentation. Obviously, we have a lot of things that need to be done. I'd just like to ask first Steve a question about or maybe Ken, either one of you. When was the last time there was renovation done on any kind of scale to this building?
What I've run across is there was a failure a number of years ago of the facade, and there was emergency work done at that time. That's the last time any exterior work has been done.
Right, because that's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I could probably look it up, but there was some considerable work done on the facade that failed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think this building was built in '68. Is that right? Does anybody know?
It's about 50 years.
63. Wow.
So it's older than me.
Okay. I was in first grade. All right. We have questions from the council.
I just have a comment. A lot of the projects that are replacing infrastructure, that was failing, so I'm assuming based on the replacement that operational costs for maintenance will go down eventually. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, anytime we do mechanical equipment, we're looking at energy efficiency on reducing the cost to run those buildings.
That's awesome. Okay.
Same thing with even the turf field. A new turf field has less work than an old field that needs to be repaired and sewn back together.
And I'll add to that a little bit because these guys have been doing an incredible job of keeping the cost down. They've been looking at what designs were out there pre-existing and really making them much more efficient. And I will say, like, I'll use the pool heater as a perfect example. We spent years repairing those systems, and those systems should have been replaced, not even bothered to be repaired, probably about 6 or 7 years ago at a minimum. We were basically spending the same amount of money it costs to replace it, to repair these things on an annual basis. So it was really is a tremendous job to get these things going, and I think we should see significant operational costs for, like, especially the HVAC units.
And I also want to bring up that the grants team has done a great job. I mean, you can see the level of grants has been increased from last year's allocation.
Absolutely. Mike, you have a question?
Thanks. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for putting it together. So what Dan mentioned earlier, it's, we still have the council still has another 2 bites of the apple to approve a bond and then to approve the specific project. Because for me personally, besides the safety concerns, which we'll address one by one, particularly for the facade of this building, we've talked to a lot of developers recently, and we're going to have to dig in on the timeline of when we would be able, obviously safety concerns first, but sinking another X millions of dollars besides safety into something that maybe we can work with a developer and create a new city hall, create a new fire department, create a new police department headquarters, et cetera. That's something, Dan, that we need to explore, and that's certainly on the table. So, okay. East Pine Street, fantastic, because that's, as everybody knows, on the East End, that's particularly a very rough road. Do you have any insight to any of the further plans of other streets that you're going to do? I know you called out East Pine because that's a big one.
Mm-hmm. Riverside would be a reconstruction that we're looking at doing. Armour and Kerrigan, I mentioned. I was looking just to resurface those roads because they're in such poor condition and then have the funding for the reconstruction. But as I look at that further, I got to do some hard digging on if I can just do resurfacing. If it's, I don't want to, pour bad money down the drain on that.
Right.
There's
Can
some roads.
Can I jump in on that for a second? Because that's an important part that I think we're redoing a lot of roads, but the infrastructure below the roads is in pretty bad shape. I mean, obviously, we know the water lines throughout the city are old and corroded. To do these things right, we would have to rip up water, sewer, gas, and then do the roads. But I think, Ken, is that $1 million, and lighting? Is that $1 million per street, right?
Yeah,
if we do it
about,
right. So we don't have that kind of money in our budget, nor do we. I don't think the residents would want to do that. So we're looking at what we could overlay as a priority. But in the situations that are really bad, Ken is really making sure he's doing the investigation to see whether it's worth, putting a Band-Aid on something that really needs to be, triaged.
Understood.
Sorry, Ken.
Yep. And then we have 2 roads in West Homes that we wanted to do this spring, but Nat Grid needs to get in there first. Their gas pipes are beyond help, so we're working with them, and I'm hoping to schedule for the fall, but I'm not sure on their timeline.
How's the New York project going in Park?
They milled it last night, and they should pave it tonight, and then pavement markings the next 2 days. So it'll be open before the parade.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting what you guys both said. I'm sure everyone in this room has a road in this town, in this city, that you think needs to be paved. Maybe it's the road you live on, or maybe the road you take every day, right? And it's hard to, to make a priority list of that, right? Because there are a lot of bad ones. I mean, like you mentioned, Mike, you mentioned East Pine Street, because that's, everybody makes the left off of Long Beach Road. Off of Long Beach onto East Pine, so that gets a lot. I go down Washington Boulevard, and there's problems on going south on Washington, and I'm sure everyone has a road that they could think of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a priority list?
We have a list that was done by the prior commissioner that I've been working from. I plan on putting out a task order to evaluate the roads, but see, the challenge is it's not the roads. What's the condition of the sewer and the water? And, you don't just see those. They're not, you don't see the problem until they fail. But we have to go by age and past complaints. So I'm hoping by the next spring to have an evaluation completed of all the city roads and a grading system.
Right.
And that's on my to-do list, so we have a workable plan to go from. But right now, I've been utilizing the past evaluations of what was done, which is and working with road maintenance too. Randy's input on where he spends all his time is integral to what we do, and also the complaints we receive from the residents are all tracked when we make our choices.
Yeah, right. We've been pretty good there's quite a few overlays that have been very, helpful to getting around.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
George, you have questions?
I'm good, Brendan, thank you.
Okay. Chris?
No, I think Mike covered everything I wanted to say. I know it's a plan and everything is on the table and whatnot. Who is the engineer that we hired for the facade? I don't know if it's a Steve question or a Ken question. I saw Walker, are they consultants?
Yes.
Facade, you said a facade consultant. I didn't know
They
there
are.
was such a
They're,
thing.
I call them skin consultants. They're
curtain wall.
they're core and shell
Curtain wall.
consultants. That's their specialty
Curtain wall.
is facades.
So who's the engineer?
The specific person.
Is there a company we hired that's the engineer behind it, or?
So Walker, they
Walker
are
is-
architects and engineers.
Got it. I wonder where that number of 10 million comes from, that's all. In my opinion, I know it's a lot.
We'll get you a breakdown of it, because I actually mentioned it
I'm
today.
sure there's a breakdown of it. I'd just like to see
Yeah.
that, that's all.
Would you like a highlight of?
If you
of
want to do
number?
it now,
Yeah,
sure.
sure. So Brendan, to answer your question, 'cause John was kind enough to bring that up. I remember looking at a set of drawings for any facade work that was done here. It looks like it was done in 2021, and it was basically up at the top of the house, the parapets where we had water infiltration. So it was repointing of brickwork and some waterproofing just up at the parapet of the building, nothing the median on down.
Right,
So,
okay.
yeah.
And I obviously took care of the most important need, right?
Right. That's the water coming in from at the roof line there. So obviously, it just comes
Yeah,
down through the
right,
building.
okay,
So that
right,
had
okay.
to get taken care of.
All right.
So,
Good. Any other questions from the council?
you have a breakdown?
I'll just add from a non-structural, just from a visual standpoint, I don't think there's too many people that pass through town that find this building to be extremely attractive. So the rendering that you had up there certainly is a far cry. So just from that standpoint alone, it's a little bit of an add as well.
Certainly, nice wish list. Yeah.
It's a nice wish list.
Okay, then we'll open it to the, to,
You want, is he gonna answer?
Do you want to go?
what's that?
Do you have a breakdown?
Oh, yeah, break, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Chris, the,
You don't have to go too detailed, just,
no,
the
okay,
majors.
sure, high level. So the facade consultant put a cost estimate together. Of course, they're consultants. So when we go out to the street, obviously the number is probably going to be different. I expect it to be a little bit lower. The construction itself is probably $7.5 to $8 million. Plus, we bring contingency money into that. We've also got, besides the facade work, we have other work we need to do around the building. We need to do some relighting. We're going to need, if we're putting a new storefront in there, we're going to have to do some security through the police department for safety of enter and out of the buildings, and some miscellaneous stuff. And of course, we have contingency money in there for unknowns. We haven't completely opened up the building, but once we start to do that, I prefer to have contingency in there, so I don't have to stand here in front of you guys again, coming back looking for some more
I'm not trying to put
money.
you on the spot. Are the windows, do you know the windows, what the cost of the windows are?
I could get you that.
If you don't have it, no worries.
They're
Give
broken
it to me
out,
another
but
time.
the windows are
They're beautiful,
as-
these windows.
you like that?
They
Can
were.
somebody open one, actually? It's so hot.
It always looks dark, right?
Oh, I was here one day when they were all open. It was really kind of scary.
Yeah, the windows are our biggest source of energy loss
Yeah.
Right.
and gain, and
So
also...
the towels on the radiator during the winter don't help?
I'm sorry?
The towels to keep the air out on the radiators don't help in the winter?
But the windows will be completely replaced
Yeah.
as part of this project.
All right.
Okay.
I just want to know how much of the project is that of windows? And we'll do another time. You don't
I
have to
can
do it
certainly
right now.
get you that, no problem.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Okay, we'll open it to the public. Yes.
Hi, Roy Lester. I was looking for the capital plan. Where is it?
It's on the site, isn't it? Carrie, did we post it on the site?
I can't hear a word you're saying, Dan.
Well, because I'm asking a question to Carrie, not to you. Okay. Ken, did we post it on the site, or we'll post it on the site? We'll post it. Okay, we'll post it on the site.
But this is the hearing for it. You won't have a hearing afterwards. So the only time that we can talk about it after seeing the plan, it's already passed. Am I correct?
If it's voted on today.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
So that's not legal, even. You knew you were presenting it.
Did you ask for it before the meeting?
No, we don't have to.
Okay, but
It's
it would be
presented.
helpful if you actually wanted to
Are
comment
you
about
kidding
something
me?
to ask
Every
for it.
year it's presented. Every year it's presented.
Roy,
And
they-
now
Roy, they
you're
missed it.
telling me
I
that
think-
we have to ask for it?
Roy, they missed it. I think what Greg is trying to say, if you knew it wasn't posted, if you could have called us, we would have known. We thought it was posted. If it wasn't, if you let us know, we would have posted immediately after you letting us know, instead of
Lately-
waiting till you're here at the meeting to bring it
Right.
up. I think that was Greg's point.
I thought I might have missed it, because I kept looking for it, and lately we've been posting so late. Most of the backups posted on Mondays. Okay, going to this building, 10 million, if we could get it done for that, I think is a bargain. We've gotten, I remember when we discussed this, we were talking 24 million, stuff like that. We also talked about, for years now, replacing this building, making it a transit-oriented apartment building, you know. There are people that were making offers or were talking about it. I don't know that they actually made offers. That's above my pay grade. But it seemed to make so much more sense. Now, someone said about the pool, I think it was, no, it wasn't. Someone said about the pool, well, we didn't put the money in, and it was a waste of money. We kept repairing the heater and stuff. We've been talking about this building for years, and doing something about it. And we're still talking about it. And, you know, I know, Dan, you're trying to figure out what we can do. But to keep throwing money in, to throw 10 million into it, when we have options, and you know, I don't know if that's including what we have to do downstairs in the fire department, which is quite a bit of money with the locker rooms and all of that stuff.
Well,
And
that's underway already.
What?
Some of that is underway.
I know that,
Right.
but you know what? It's the same thing when you keep putting money into something that's never going to be repaired. It's just not getting anywhere. And we tried several times now, over several administrations, to have a serious discussion about alternative. Could we actually do something? Could we actually get into a serious discussion about that?
Well,
Because
I think that you're probably aware that they're not that serious. That's the problem. The discussions aren't as serious as we would like them to be.
So we have had conversation with some developers, and their asks for say, building a new city hall, because obviously if we have to pay to build a new city hall, it's
But
going
with
to be
the-
devastating to the
With what we
community.
would get for this one,
Right. So,
you know.
so if you want me to finish, I will. So we've been having discussions. What they want for this land is the equivalent, to build us a new city hall, is the equivalent of all this land, including Kennedy Plaza, including the parking area in the back, and all of the bayfront with the wastewater treatment plant. That's not a serious proposal.
No.
So we threw them out, pretty much, is what basically the conversation we've had. We did invite in Urban Landers to give us some advice. They came in, some various developers, to have conversation with us about what developers would want to see and how, it's two-sided. One, what the developers need to see in order to develop the area and what they'd want in return for it, but also the other side of it is what developers were going to ask for that we should not even consider. So it was actually a pretty good process. So we are in discussions, which is one of the reasons why when we started the discussion on the $10 million, I said, this is not necessarily something we're going to move forward with, but we have to have it in a plan in case we decide to keep this building. We have to have a plan for how we're going to repair it and how we're going to maintain it so we keep using it. If we do go a different route, we're still steps away from that. So certain projects are going to have to be done. I don't know if the $10 million investment is worth it if we're going to get rid of the building, but if we are going to keep it, it's definitely worth it. So we have to be planning for that in case the eventuality is that we keep the building. But, I can't talk to what previous administrations, you could probably speak to it better, but we are looking to do something. We want to get this done. We don't want to sit on it like the past has done and just sit there and watch it deteriorate. We're going to make either a plan to either fix it or to develop it. But we have to do something.
What happened
and
with
we're moving in that direction. This group, as you know, because you were part of them for a while, is very in tune with making sure that we move forward and don't just sit on this for another 10 years before we make a decision.
What happened with the discussions with Stop and Shop?
Stop and Shop has 65 years left on a 99-year lease. Their ask to go beyond that is probably a little more than we can handle, but they have come back to us with a more reasonable, I wouldn't say proposal, more reasonable discussions than they originally started with. So we're still having those discussions. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to lay out too
don't
much.
want
I don't want to cast aspersions on anyone either, but when you think about that 99-year lease, when it was done, I mean, it boggles my mind sometimes to hear things like that.
Mine too.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine too.
And that's part of the problem.
Yes, I know. And how many times have I spoken up about it? But
Right.
it's just, but the idea is he wants to do something with it, and it seems we'd be better off dealing with him than necessarily the kids.
We have been talking with him in earnest. We've had 2 meetings over the last few months with them about what could be done and what should be done. And the conversation has been revolving around a lot of discussions about how that was supposed to prevent blight, but now has become one of the more blighted areas of the community. So he understands that. I think he's a very smart man. He's very diligent, but you got to remember he has a deal right now that makes him a lot of money with very little effort. So it's got to be profitable for him to move forward. But we've been having good discussions with him about what could and potentially what should be done. But he's open to discussion. He's been very fair and reasonable with us. So I commend him on the effort that he's done to have real conversations.
It's not about anything. I just wanted to let you know, when you were here and we were all discussing that,
louder.
when you were here still and we were discussing that,
Yeah.
then you just made a mention about the kids, the person we were dealing with, I think I don't want to say too much for privacy reasons, but he has passed away, the son.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Not the father, not the
Not the
owner,
father,
the son.
yeah.
The son has actually passed away.
Okay, I
The
didn't
son.
realize the
Yeah.
father had passed
So
away.
that kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
changed
because
things.
he seemed very amenable to something like this. Last question, the $8 million for water, what's that for?
Ken, you want to break down the $8 million?
So that includes quite a bit of work in the collection system, not the collection system, but the distribution system. You have work at the plant that includes the booster pump station, the sand filters, the 2 wells need to be rehabbed. There's about $1 million worth of work there, and then kicking off, looking at the elevated storage tank, about rehabbing it. That's the current one that needs to be done also. That's not a big number of the 8 million, but that's a small part of it. And then you have the HMP work, which is grant funded to a certain extent, but there is some city outlay for that work also.
And what about the new tank? Are we doing anything on that?
Not right now. We're talking to various consultants whether there's a need for a new tank or not before we dive into it. And there's also the study of the, the future of the supply of water for the city, which that deals with saltwater intrusion. So we're looking at that also.
Last question, my bell hasn't rung yet. How many miles did we do this year, city, not utilities, of roads?
I have to get that number. I don't have it on top of my head.
And we have 79 total?
I think it's 70. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Roy.
Thanks, Roy. Any other? Yes? She had her hand up first.
Both hands up, so you can see it.
Had both hands up.
But I know your eyesight is still good, Brendan. Mine
It's
isn't
okay.
so much.
Pretty good.
Just a quick, thank you, Ken. I think it was a great presentation on an understanding of the capital plan, and I get it. The project that you were talking about by City Hall and National, is that the one? I know that Tyler had worked on it, but is that the one where you're going to extend the parking and then and the crossing from City Hall across National Boulevard toward the senior housing? Is that the area that we're looking at? I'm sorry that I'm not talking in the mic.
We have two curb bulb outs. One is on Westchester and National, and then one is by the Signal, I think just by Azalea. Both are there. One's a bus stop, which we feel it's important to do it there.
Okay.
And the other one, because you have so much traffic coming across on Chester, we wanted to put one there, and we work with the fire department to make sure that they're happy with what we're putting in.
Perfect. I think it's going to be very good, all for public safety. And also in regard to the Stop and Shop. I wouldn't trust that guy if my life depended upon it. He's being nice now because he wants something. But personally, I would love it if that property could come back to the city of Long Beach, and I think we'd just do a lot better at managing and bringing a lot better stores into it. But thank you very much. I appreciate the capital proposal. Thanks.
I'll just say, you can't blame the man. Someone gave him that 99-year lease. If someone gave it to me, I'd take it too, right?
Yeah.
And I'd love to know who gave him that lease.
You and me.
We have a pretty good idea, though.
I know it wasn't me, and I know it wasn't
Yeah, that's right. James?
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. I would say it's all in the records. You can find out who did. I know it was a 99-year lease, and it was families that lived on Westchester Street, and it was the urban development, but some in my community call it the urban removal because there were hundreds of families displaced, and the 99-year deal was part of Wall Bounds at the time, giving that money from displacing all of those families money back. And so part of this capital plan, I constantly keep asking how much of that 75,000 and now over 100,000 per year that you get for that grant, how much actually goes back from this capital project? I don't know. I'm still waiting on the report. Maybe Ina got that. I asked several times. And so, again, it's very easy to find out who was part of the plan, who was the city council, who was the city manager. Ken has the records, the city has the records, and they did a 99-year deal. But again, part of kicking those majority 90 or 98% of black families out and eminent domain their homes, but part of the deal was to put money back into the community. So I asked all of these wonderful things and projects, Ken and Steve. What's your name again? Steve? All right, Steve. They're wonderful. And I wish it was online. Like Roy said, there's no reason to yell at him. He's just talking about what should be there so it can be looked at prior to coming and asking the questions. So there's always a little extra at Roy. But again, I think you should appreciate him as a,
I've known
doing
Roy
his civic
a long,
duties.
long time, believe me. I appreciate it.
All right, well, all right, I thank you. Again, so I asked, with all of these different projects, I don't know if, Ken, did you make it to the MLK yet? Because I know the last time you said you was going to make it to the MLK and give an evaluation.
Well,
Yes, there was an evaluation done of MLK. There's $100,000 in the plan. There's no major projects needed for MLK at this time, but we're going to work with the operator and see what kind of improvements
You know, it's cracks all in the building and there's leaks. You said there's no major problems there, engineering-wise?
Yeah, Steve did, and also we have a grant for MLK.
Thank you. It's just that if I don't ask, we may not know. My time not running, right?
So James.
It is? Oh, thank you so much.
So James, I was over there just a couple days ago, myself and Danny O'Brien.
Okay.
I've been in that facility 3 times, but I went corner to corner. The place looks beautiful on the inside because of the staff there. They take care of it like it's their own home. So I'm working with Tyler. We're going to go for a second grant. We have a grant right now. I believe it's $165,000. We're going to go for another $200,000.
Amazing.
And we did get some feedback from Sheena on what she's looking for. We have some work to do there. Mostly, to look for the basketball court to be replaced, the bleachers. We have some elevator work to do, and of course, we have some roofing work to do. So we're going to try and get all that stuff done with this grant money.
And when you look on the stairs, you'll see the walls, there's cracks in the walls and the stairs.
Yeah.
And
I was only able to absorb so much. And
okay.
walk through it.
Well, it's good
I'll
to
have a
hear
look at
that you're there.
Yeah.
It's just like Reinhardt. He speaks about the recreation all the time, and sometimes when you get a seat to the table, you're able to put different proposals and projects. And so that's good that I'm asking about the MLK and you're letting the community know what you're doing. So thank you for that. And I know when I was getting ready to ask him a question, Finn, you got ready to stop me, but it's good that you answered. Because
well, what I was going to say was that we've been dealing with Sheena, okay, and we've been dealing with Sheena directly, and it's been very productive.
Okay.
Okay, so, and that's who he's been dealing with.
Oh, no.
I mean, you're entitled to ask any question you want.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why I'm asking, because again, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that we deal with Sheena when it
No,
comes
it's
to MLK.
okay, but that's well, she's the chair of the corporation that's in there. But again, so because we did do a lot of energy efficient work there, and the Martin Luther King Center was responsible for Global Green coming in and the solar panels on the roof and all of the paint and the lights and all of the things inside. We got, hundreds of thousands of dollars put in the building. And I will say about City Hall, after Sandy, there were millions of dollars put into this building. I don't know exactly what it was for, but I know for a lot of the engineering, which is in the basement, there was a lot of money put into this place and the MLK that we pushed for. So again, working together creates the change you want to see. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the public? All right, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move an item, a unanimous consent item, to be moved up to the second place in the agenda.
I second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiamara?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Would you like me to explain the
Okay,
item?
so I'll start it and then I'll turn it over to you. So, as part of the budget proposition that we proposed, and I don't know if it's going to be voted on yet tonight or not, but I don't think it is because we can't. We suggested to pierce the tax cap. With that, we have to have a public hearing to pierce that. It needs to be published today, and we have to do it in 10 days from now. We have to have the meeting. So we're looking to publish a meeting for the 29th of May to vote on whether to pierce the tax cap or not. And Greg, if you could give more detail.
Right. There was previously a meeting scheduled for May 26th, but the local law overriding the tax levy limit, or the tax cap, is a necessary component of that should the council be inclined to exceed the tax cap. If that local law is not in place and the tax cap is exceeded, the results are catastrophic. So this, we need to notice it and post it, and it has to be around for 10 days, and then the council will reconvene on May 29th to take a vote on this item and then the budget item.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
So to be clear, that item was for publication only. The next item on the agenda is another public hearing for the purpose of giving citizens an adequate opportunity to publicly present their views on the general summary of the proposed budget for the year July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
So this is obviously a continuation of the public hearing on the fiscal year 26-27 budget that began at our last meeting. Ina, our comptroller, has been working with myself on this plan for months to develop and reduce where we think we can. We've also discussed individually with council members on areas for improvement throughout the process. We will present an errata sheet at the special meeting that we just published, or that we just noticed to be published.
Okay. We have comments or questions from the public. Ronnie?
Evening, everybody. Ron Paganini, Long Beach. This is about the budget, right? Well, I went over the budget online, and things did change with the overtime. And you're budgeting less for it, which is great. But there are things that I saw that raises, tremendous amount of raises for individuals. You know, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. So, especially in the exempts, you know, they get superior salaries. When you're hired to be an exempt, you're non-union, you're hired for what you know, or your education, or whatever. And you get paid for that. You should be paid for that. And what bothers me is this. You know, way back when the administration had changed, in other words, when they negotiated a contract for CSEA, that's what they did. They negotiated, they worked for the taxpayer. And it went pretty well at that point. We're going back, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Now, it had changed that negotiating, the city negotiates with CSEA, who you represent the taxpayer, but you guys wind up with the with the results of the negotiation. In other words, if it's an 8-year, whatever, all the percentages, the city, the exempts get that. Which I never believed that should have happened. Because really, you're based on, they deserve that because of the Taylor law and the strike benefits, you know, the strike that they gave up their strike. And the graded salary plan takes a long time to make a decent salary. Where the exempts are different. You come in, you can make $200,000. That's what you're worth, $250,000, whatever it is. And you shouldn't get automatic raises. You should not get automatic raises, guaranteed raises. I'm against that.
So am I.
They don't.
So
Exempts have no contract for automatic raises except for a handful who have actual contracts with them directly, but exempts are not guaranteed raises.
that's right, you're not guaranteed raises. But prior to this administration, the exempts got whatever CSEA got. Did you know that?
I don't know of what the prior administrations did, but I know that there were years where the exempts got zeros, and substantial
Right,
number of
but-
those. And I don't think, and that was in prior administrations as well. I know that, I know that they have the same cost of living that everybody else has in here, and I would support my exempts as much as I support my union workers. And I would say that they're entitled to raises, just like you would be entitled to raises as you worked when you did, Ronnie. So I wouldn't neglect giving them raises that they earned, but they are not entitled to any raises. I can choose to give every exempt zeros. There's no guarantee that they get what the CSEA gets. I don't know where you're getting that from, but that's not true.
But a lot of people did get raises.
Yes, as they should. As they should, as you would want if you were in the position too.
But some of these raises are thousands of dollars, like yourself, you made an extra $10,000 from last year to this year.
Yep.
You're
You want the
close to,
exact number? I could give you the exact number if you want to come to my office.
well, I'm
If you
just
want to make
saying,
an
it's a
issue.
little less than 250,000, where the governor of New York makes 250,000.
I think he's way better than the governor of New York.
Well, yes, he is.
I'll take him anytime.
Yes,
Make him governor.
he is better.
Nothing against the governor, but he's better.
No, but I'm just saying, how far do we go? And we have a problem with our workforce, which the first $2.5 million or $3 million just pays for the workforce. What I'm trying to say is try to cut back.
I just say that I agree in principle with what you're saying, but I believe that the raises that percentage-wise are reasonable. They're not unreasonable. The percentage-wise, it translates to thousands of dollars, yes, because they do they do a different job, right? So, but I agree in principle, but I think the percentages are reasonable.
Well, as a taxpayer sitting here, my time ran out, but we paid a lot of taxes over the last many, many years because of administrations basically abusing these taxes, and we keep paying and paying and paying. We really have to reduce some of payments. I mean, salaries, reduce them, because we're not going anywhere. And I'm just saying that that's the problem we're having, and it's only going to get worse as it gets compounded. But that's all I have to say. Listen, you're going to do what you want to do. I think that you can stay under the cap. I think
We're
you
going
can,
to try.
and I'm sure you will. Thank you.
Thank you. I agree. Yes, Linda.
Linda Giles, Long Beach. Just a quick question. In preparing this budget, did you factor in the taxes that you'll be collecting from the new buildings?
Yes, we did.
You did? And even with that, we have to pierce the tax cap.
You mean the buildings that were already built or the ones that are going to be built?
The ones that are built.
That are built, yes, they're in the taxes.
They're factored in.
Yep.
I never could understand with all the high-rise buildings in Long Beach why our taxes go up.
Well, because the cost of living goes up,
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I agree.
I'm not going to make a habit of coming up here all the time, but I did
You just got to sit closer.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
That's why I sit in the back, so sometimes you don't see me and call on me. I'm just going to quickly read, because I sent this to you all earlier. As a city manager, Denise Ford, by the way, as a city manager is proposing a tax increase as well as using part of the fund balance, will the city council revoke any proposed raises given to exempt employees since they are not contractually mandated? I believe it would be a nod to our residents who are not getting raises in their incomes. Also, many of these exempt employees do not live in the city and are not subject to a property tax increase. This is I'm not saying if they do good work or not work. I'm just saying that this is something that would be nice for residents, to show that you're trying to make an effort, to keep the costs down in places that you can, all right? I also, when I was going through it, I noticed that why was the CSEA purchasing agent position of a salary of $121,232 removed from the budget, and replace with an exempt employee, Director of Procurement, a salary of $130,000? And why didn't you hire from the list that I believe that there was? And is this exempt employee also hired from outside the city? As I understand, the contract with the paid professional firefighters has not been settled, yet you eliminated a captain's title. They have been without a contract for over 10 years, and I thought it was going to be addressed years ago. What is a contingency budget if an agreement is reached or it's settled by arbitration? Those are just some of the comments that I have.
Okay. You want to comment back?
If you can, if you have anything to say, or you know.
I try not to discuss salaries from.
Right.
From.
I'm not saying
here.
salaries. No, my suggestion would be that to take a look at that, you know, like it's not a lot of money, but sometimes even if it's not a lot of money, it just might be the intent. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're talking about the optics of it.
You know, and
right?
I'm not trying to begrudge any of them, any extra,
understand.
trust me on this,
Yeah.
you know, but there are people who live on fixed incomes, you know, so when they see the increase going up, they're going to be impacted, and that's all, you know,
right.
I was saying.
Yeah,
And, you know, and even, because I don't even know what what is the fund balance right now?
16.
Okay, all right, so then we have.
$16 million. It's up
So-
$2 million since we got here.
All right, so then if any contracts or anything comes down, then we're in a good position, you know, that if we have to negotiate the contract and settle it, we should be able to without dipping into people's pockets. Very good. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you.
So I do want to touch on one thing before the next speaker comes up. I do think it's important to treat all of our employees, not just union members, fairly. I do think that we want to keep good employees who work hard. And I think saying that we should not give raises to people just because they're in a certain class of people, that makes it is a way to push people that do good work out and end up with less talented people that want to stay and work for the city. I can say if I had my druthers, I would be giving the council up here a significant raise because I think they're completely overworked. It's amazing the amount of work they put in, and I know that.
Second that.
Yeah, and I know that they've all made comments to me that they didn't want the look of a tax increase combined with the raises for them, and I understand that's the point that we're trying to get across, that all the exempts should take that, but. The exempts are not elected. The exempts work for a living, and the exempts have the same cost of living adjustments that everybody else is getting, and it would be fair to treat them the same way we treat every other employee.
Actually, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. A councilman said to me not that long ago that you have to pay good salaries to get good people to work here. Said it from this podium a couple of years ago, and I think he had a point. So, I mean, right? I mean, you get what you pay for sometimes. Come on up, James.
Again, James Hodge, as a civil servant for over 28 years, working for the city of Long Beach for over 23 years, and in the CSEA for almost 24 years. I'm always pushing for the CSEA and part-timers. We know that the city of Long Beach is paying a lot of these laborers $15 an hour, and we're talking about giving raises. These guys can't hardly pay for their meals, can't hardly pay for their uniforms, but they're getting $15 an hour. We want to look at giving some people raises. I want to love to see them in the budget as getting civil service and benefits and their health care and all of that stuff. So they work hard. They're in the rain, sleet, and snow. No matter what the weather is, cold, no matter what it is. So if we're talking about giving somebody money, give them some uniform money or give them a little bit bump in a raise. State minimum wage is $17 an hour, but yet we give the laborers $15 an hour, part-timers. So I say when you're looking at your budget and putting your strategic plan together, make them a part of the plan. Because the majority of the laborers in sanitation, highway, and beach maintenance are black and Latino. The facts are the facts. And sometimes we get away with what we can get away with. That's why the North Park, the Bayfront is just getting done, because we got away with it for decades and decades, but it's being done now. And also, you're entitled to whatever you say, Finn, but when you think about our governor, it's not like a slush fund, 1-point-something billion to give to people. You know, that's what the president doing. But the governor, you said about the governor, Dan can be great, but I think we need to be careful when the governor's staff is looking at this video, and they know how much she loved Long Beach, because she told me the last time I spoke. So for you to try to say something condescending or putting her down, she just gave us money to help the municipal. She just gave us money for downtown renovation. She just gave us money for tax credits. She just gave the school money. She gave millions and millions of dollars. So when you're speaking, President, think about how it could affect our money coming in. And so you're entitled to say whatever you want. That's your opinion. But you're sitting there as the president of our city council. And so I say with you that, politics aside, your opinion is your opinion and you're entitled to that. But speaking from the dais as the president of the city council, I'm with Kathy Hochul in what she's doing. Dan is great and he does a good job, but I appreciate Kathy Hochul. You didn't end with saying I appreciate her. You just said some condescending words. And I promise you that our staff is looking at this. So I want to thank you, Kathy Hochul, for what you continue to do. And as I say, think about the part-time workers and give them more money and give them civil service.
I'm going to repeat what's written on the wall over there, and it's called decorum. And if you keep raising your voice and you keep yelling, then you're going to be asked to leave the room, okay? You can say whatever you want as long as you're polite and you follow decorum, and your time is up. So thank you very much.
What makes you think you can
Thank you very much.
How to talk?
Thank you very much.
You're yelling at me.
I'm just saying thank you.
You can't tell. My decorum, you think you can control
Thank you.
me? We ain't going back to the 60s, brother. We ain't decorum.
I think Kathy Hochul she probably has a good sense of humor anyway. Okay, any other questions from the public? I hope she does. All right, thank you. So, along the lines of what Ron Paganini said, our council is very, very concerned with the taxpayer. And we are striving to stay under that cap. But certain mitigating circumstances, extenuating circumstances, make it very difficult to do that, and we're trying hard. Ina Resnick and Dan Creighton and the staffs have worked very hard and diligently, done a great job. But we think that perhaps our managers, our commissioners, the upper-level management can find some more cuts, or maybe some more, let's be better ways to get to that cap or get under it. And that's what we want to do. So we will be having our meeting on May 29th to approve a budget and to vote on that tax cap as well, so, to pierce the tax cap. So that's that. We move on to the next item.
You could vote on the cap, you can't vote on the, budget yet.
Number 3.
Yeah, but you may want to vote on the.
We'll do it at the end with everything.
Item number 1, a public hearing has been held. Resolution authorizing the adoption of a capital improvement program for 5 years from July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2031. Item 2, we just had a public hearing, a resolution authorizing the adoption of the operating budget for the fiscal year commencing July 1, 2026, ending June 30th, 2027, appropriating sums set forth therein and determining and fixing the real estate tax levy. Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to renew contract for purchase of automotive batteries.
So this item is to renew our agreement with Interstate Batteries for an additional year, maintaining the current costs and conditions. The city's garage uses Interstate for the purchase of batteries for our fleet. Our city's new purchasing agent, Samantha Burkhart, is here to answer any questions about the merits of exercising the contract extension.
Okay. Any comments from the public, from the council on this?
It's maintaining what we did last year, the costs, so
Yes.
I'm good.
Same.
Okay. We have no question for you.
Wait, public mic. Public mic.
That's a resolution.
This isn't a public hearing.
No, that's what I'm saying, the public. Oh, it's at the end, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, I
No problem.
forgot the new rules.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for grant consulting services.
Okay. So the city has utilized Millennium Strategies to help us with grants over the past 5 years with increasingly good results. This item would allow us to retain their services for an additional 13 months to align with our budget and a city option for one additional year at the same rate. The cost for their services will be $3,800 a month, not to exceed $49,400. Reason it's $49,400 is it's 13 months, not 12. This is a $300 a month increase over our previous agreement with them, which is reflective of our increased usage of them over the past years. Tyler Huffman is here to answer any questions, but it is safe to say the return on our investment with Millennium has paid dividends, as evidenced by the millions of dollars a year we have been receiving on grants. So I'll turn it over to Tyler if you have any questions.
Mike?
Hey, Tyler. So we talked about this last year, that Millennium is paying for itself, and then some. But can you give some general ballpark, how many grants in the last couple years, dollars, just to put some perspective to it?
Sure. So, we've been using this firm for 4 years now. They've probably doubled their output since we first used them. In terms of grant applications that have been submitted. The first year, they submitted 12 applications for us. The current year that we're in, they've submitted 29. And they're really pretty much at the same price point that they've been since that first year. We've given them a few increases since then, but I think it's been pretty modest. And, I would say I wholeheartedly support this fee increase that they're asking for. This increase from the previous extension is about 8.5%, and in that same time frame, they've increased their applications by 16%. So, they're doing a lot of work for the city. They create a tremendous amount of added value. They let us go after grant applications that we could never otherwise probably go after. They notify us of opportunities that we wouldn't otherwise have known about. So, they pay for themselves many, many, many times over, so we're very happy with them. But to go back to your question, in the past 4 years, they brought in about $12 million for us, for the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Tyler,
Yes.
a quick question, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Before that, so you just said $12 billion. Do you have any idea what the amount of money we got in grants? Was it the previous 4 years? I don't know if you...
Well, that's all 4 years. The past 4 years that we've used them, it's been $12 million.
12, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? I'll just make a comment that probably to pay someone to be in a position rather than pay this company, Dan, would you estimate what the salary might be?
So right now, we'd probably need another Tyler or so, and I could tell you the amount of work he does already is pretty substantial.
Yeah,
So if
I'll
we
say
brought
so,
in another
too.
person, I think where the real benefit and value comes from Millennium, and I'll let Tyler add to this, is that they find grants that we may not even be aware of. So they do a good job of comparing their systems to grants that other ones that our clients are getting, and they let us know, like, hey, you guys should be reapplying for this grant for your recreation field. You should be applying for this grant for your parks. Things that that, you know, even with the amount of work he does just researching grants, he does not necessarily know about every grant that's out there. So that's where the value is. So even if you picked up another person at, say, $120,000 a year, it's still going to be based on their access to the information.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, I would say, I mean, to apply for the grants that we're working with this company, we would probably need 5 of me and 5 of Patty, right? Because, you know, we're both one person each, and we can only do so many things in the day. We only have so much time. The firm that we're using, they're a firm with a whole team of people, grant writers behind them. So when we have times in the year when we have to submit multiple grant applications at the same time, we can go after all those grant applications. Whereas if we didn't have this firm, we would have to limit the amount of applications that we could go after, because it's just me and Patty and maybe some other staff that could assist. So that would be a situation where we're leaving grant money on the table. So this firm lets us go after everything, and, you know, we really leave no opportunity.
Excellent, thank you.
The other one thing I would add to it is this firm works with a lot of other municipalities, and they have a good idea of what grants are succeeding and which ones are failing and why they're succeeding and why they're failing. So they could say to us, hey, spruce up this grant in this way or this manner so that, you know, add this information that gives you a better chance to get the grant. Or they'll also say, hey, this grant is available to you, but just to let you know, your chance of getting it are very, very small based on X, Y, or Z. They've been pretty good about giving us that information.
Right. Thank you. Any other comments? All right, thanks, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
Go to the next one.
Item number 5 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the installation and upgrade of critical infrastructure.
So our police department is seeking to upgrade existing boardwalk cameras and to install new multi-directional cameras to better support their operations. Cost of this work would be just under $64,000, $50,000 of which would be covered by a federal grant obtained through New York State. Rich DePalma, our commissioner, is here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, we got comments from the council.
Yes. So there was a lot of detail on the type of cameras, which was interesting. I appreciated it. So these are the panoramic cameras. So is this updating what we just put in? Are these the kind of cameras that we put in last year? Or
So yeah, we're gonna have 4 new locations, and at those 4 new locations, we're gonna have two sets of cameras at those 4 new locations. We're also replacing 2 existing locations that are single mount cameras that aren't 360.
Okay, so that's what I was getting at. So this 360 panoramic going to update the single.
Correct, on 4 locations, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Move to the next one.
Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing settlement of an action brought by Two Rock Capital Partners, LLC, against the City of Long Beach, New York.
So this is a proposed settlement of litigation regarding the cost of demolishing a so-called zombie home. I'll ask Greg to discuss the details a bit more and field any questions from the council, but I would remind everyone this is active litigation, so there's a limit on what can be discussed without going into executive session. Greg?
I'll just give like a brief executive overview. This was a zombie home that the city had condemned and had demolished. A bank alleged that there was a due process issue in their notification regarding the proceedings, the civil penalties, and so on and so forth. So what this settlement does is we give the property back to the bank. The bank pays us for the cost of the demolition, so the city's made whole. We never went out of pocket on that property, and we would otherwise waive the civil penalties, which wouldn't have been realized in any event because we took the property. So that's the proposed settlement. We're actually getting money on this one.
32,853.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Comments? Questions? Questions? I was there when they knocked that house down.
Me too.
Yeah. Thought it was a good deal then. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Item number 7.
Item number 7 is a resolution ratifying the collective bargaining agreement between the Civil Service Employees Association Lifeguard Officers Unit and the City of Long Beach, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
So the next two items are contract negotiations. This item, after good faith negotiations, we came to terms with the CSA Lifeguard Officers Unit on a new agreement that would run retroactively from July 1st, 2025, when their last contract expired, through June 30th of 2029. There's a one-time retroactive wage adjustment for year one to bring them more in line with similar positions in the region, and then a 2% increase each year for years 2 through 4. We are pleased to have an agreement that is fair to both sides and predictable, with yet another collective bargaining unit. This is a win for all involved. I have Phil Regoni here, or myself, that can answer any questions the council may have on this item.
Okay. Questions?
Just a comment. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Phil, for negotiating this new agreement. And just, you know, as it's a few days before Memorial Day weekend, where these guys and girls are going to be on the beach keeping us safe, I just wanted to say thank you to all our Long Beach lifeguards, and I want to wish them a safe season. And I know that they're going to do everything to keep everybody who goes to the beach safe, so I just wanted to say thank you.
I don't have any questions either. It's pretty much plain on the paper there for me to see. Okay, then, close it. And not close it, we'll just move on.
Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a memorandum of agreement which modifies, amends, and extends the collective bargaining agreement between the Long Beach Civil Services Employee Association, City of Long Beach Lifeguard Unit.
So similar to the previous agenda item, after good faith negotiations, we have come to terms also with the CSEA Lifeguard Unit on a new 3-year agreement that would run from July 1st of this year to June 30th of 2029. Among other provisions, the agreement includes 2% increases each of the 3 years covered in the agreement. Again, fair, reasonable, and predictable increases provide stability for both parties. I would like to echo what Mike said. Our lifeguards, I mean, Roy may not like this, are the best out there. We really appreciate the work that they do. They're great. They've saved a lot of lives. They continue to save a lot of lives. And a good contract is something that they deserve, and I appreciate everything that they do. So, again, me or Phil are here to answer any questions you have.
Any comments?
I just got a comment. Really nothing more than echoing what everybody else said. I just want to thank you for it's very important. As you know, we're a beach community, and the most precious asset we have is the beach, and the people who protect it are most important. So thank you, Phil. I appreciate all your work, and everybody else who was involved in leaving somebody out.
And I did other same comments. I think we all.
So we do public comments at the end of the, okay, so we have any other comments? George?
No, I was literally just did what Chris said and Dan.
Okay. All right, we'll move to the next one then.
Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for automated locker systems.
As part of our efforts to enhance the beach experience, the city put out an RFP for automated locker systems to temporarily store small items like keys, wallets, and phones for residents, surfers, day trippers, and race participants. Cube LLC was the sole respondent and offers a soup-to-nuts solution at no cost to the city. They proposed a 20% revenue share with the city on the locker operations and 90% share of revenue to the city for revenue stemming from any advertising on the units. Whereas we expect to increase revenue in the future, we view this as a pilot program to see how it is received before expanding it further and renegotiating. We would ultimately like to see a higher percentage share for the operations to the city, but understand that as this is an untested concept with the vendor bearing all of the upfront costs, it's a fair consideration up front, since he'll be laying out the cost of installing it monitoring it and security for the system. So we will reevaluate the arrangement that we have with them after the year is over. And I have both Joe Brand and John McNally here to answer any questions you may have, as they were instrumental in setting this up.
Yeah, Chris. How many beaches are we starting with? I have two questions. How many beaches are we starting with, and how long is the contract?
We're going to start with 3 units this summer, and it's a one-year summer pilot program, like Dan said.
Are we doing that east, west, and middle?
No, well, the 3 spots that the company identified when we had a walkthrough were some of the busier beaches here in the center town. We looked at Riverside was ideal, Edwards was ideal, and then we're looking at one of the more active recreation sites, particularly like the Laurelton area, between surfing beaches, volleyball play, some of the summer races that we run through the recreation department.
And the contract's 1 year. What about any damage or liability or anything? They're covered, we're additionally insured?
Everything, yes.
Okay. And if they were to increase the amount of beaches next year, would our revenue share change?
Like I said, they've been nothing less than cooperative. I think
Yeah.
that's all that will go into the contractual part of it. It's baby steps for them and baby steps for us that, this has been successful on college campuses all over the country. They're going to use us as more or less the guinea pig to try and get out into some of the bigger recreation areas, beaches, whitewater rafting, ski resorts and stuff like that. It was all the brainchild of somebody that had, an accident of losing valuables at a surf trip in Costa Rica or something.
Yeah, I think it's a great quality of life enhancement, have peace of mind. Your stuff is locked up and secure, just like in any major transportation hub or anything else. My concern, not concern, but I just want to know that, one, we're getting the same revenue share as the college campuses and everything else, and two, if we increase the locations, does our revenue share change?
Yeah, so we agreed to 3 locations for now. If we see it working and we allow him to put in more, we would tell him we would need a bigger percentage for those. We basically said this would be a pilot for this year alone, but if it looks like early in the year it's being utilized much heavier than we thought it would, we probably will go to him and say, look, let's expand this to more beaches, but your revenue you share got to change to, like, say, a 40-60 or even 50-50.
Something more, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mike? You good?
I'm good.
Joe, like specifically, do we know where we would put the units?
So-
Like, not, is it on the,
So we looked on the north side of the boardwalk. Number one, I don't want, I think I can speak for just about everybody here. We don't want things that are going to impede traffic at the entrances to the beach area, but certainly something within eyeshot. Where if you were up on the boardwalk and wanted to store your valuables, a big part of this now is people don't want to bring their keys to the beach, but unfortunately in today's day and age, you can't leave them in your car anymore like we all used to.
Or on the left tire.
So they're looking for places to store that. In speaking with some of the people up on the boardwalk who are runners. Even running, carrying your phone, carrying your keys, or some type of identification. It's all cloud-based, it's keyless, and again, there's no capital expense on our behalf. So, but the north side of the boardwalk, if we can get them up against comfort stations, they're not an unattractive. This is Pitney Bowes is behind this, so it's not some. No offense to the Beach Pass, it's not the Yodel app, you know what I mean? This is I think is going to be, has the potential to be some high-tech stuff, so.
I'm partial to the Yodel app.
Yeah, so am I.
I don't want to get in any more trouble.
I think like I say, I think they'll be well received. They're not something that's, tough to look at, and they're not a huge piece of equipment either.
so we'll be able to evaluate mid-season and end of season,
Without
and then
doubt.
we can pivot how we want to. Okay, thank you.
Joe, how many units are in each beach?
So within the one cube unit, there's probably, I think, depending on which size lockers there are, because they have some variables, but there's, I think, between 60 and 80, units within each of the locker systems.
Any other questions? Joe, is this their first, you said it, I guess, it's their first beach?
Yeah, coming out into a recreation area. This will be the pilot program.
All right. Let's see.
See what
Let's hope
happens.
it works out great.
Hey, look, I mean, we're always looking for additional revenue streams. Who knows?
Beautiful. Yeah, right. Thanks. Thank you. Move on to number 10.
Item number 10 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Nassau County Traffic and Parking Violations Agency.
So since the inception of the bus patrol program, there have been challenges with the adjudication process, not just for Long Beach, but for several municipalities who adopted the program in the area. This item would allow the city to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Nassau County Traffic and Parking Violations Agency, TIPVA, in order to have the adjudication process flow through them. This will help to resolve the backlog of cases that have not been yet heard. Corporation Counsel Kalnitsky's here and can explain further if you have any further questions.
The bus patrol program was enacted in 2023, and I think respectfully, without any forethought as to how these things would be adjudicated in the end. It's one thing if somebody reviews the video and says they're guilty and so on and so forth and pays the fine, but sometimes people ask for a trial. The actual statute governing the school bus camera program says that they must be adjudicated in a traffic violations bureau, or if you don't have a traffic violations bureau that serves your area, then your city court. The issue is we do have the Nassau County TPVA, which has jurisdiction in the entire county, and the arrangement in front of the council is identical to the arrangement that every other municipality in Nassau County has done with TIPVA. It includes Glen Cove, it includes Hempstead, it includes Oyster Bay. I think anybody who has that bus camera program always has these issues adjudicated at TIPVA. So this kind of closes the loop, and we can then transfer, basically 2.5 years of backlogged cases to TIPVA for them to adjudicate there.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
No, just a comment, makes perfect sense to me. I think it's a great idea.
Anybody else? All right. Move to number 11, please.
Item 11 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase one additional Moby map for Ocean Beach Park.
So the city succeeded in getting Beach Terrace to sponsor an additional Moby mat, so we're looking to purchase this mat at a cost of $3,040 from Matto Deschamps Mat Systems. Sponsorship covers the costs associated with the purchase of the Moby mat as well as some of the ongoing maintenance of the project. Whereas the single purchase would not typically have required a resolution, this additional mat makes the overall purchase to Matto Deschamps Mat Systems above the threshold that requires a resolution, so therefore we're bringing it to you for this item. I have Commissioner Arnold here to answer any questions you may have about location, and well, the location I mentioned is there by Beach Terrace, but he can talk to the general mats and how they're utilized and what we'll be getting in this purchase. Ken Arnold.
Mike's got a question.
Hey, Ken. So this is something we've said for a couple years now, that we want to keep expanding or buying Moby mats when we can. So this is a purchase of 10 total?
One.
But this is the one that puts us over?
Yeah, this puts us over the cap. I mean, the amount that we need, that we can purchase without having a resolution, yes.
Okay. Where's the location of this one going? Do we know?
It's either Lindell or Laurelton. There's the two new locations that you... Lindell. This is one's at Lindell.
Oh, okay.
The other new location this year will be at Laurelton.
Lindell.
And this was a sponsor that is funding this one, so we still have to buy it through our purchasing.
So how many do we have, set up on the beach at any given time?
So We have mats at Georgia, Minnesota, Wyoming, New York, Lafayette, Edwards, Riverside, Neptune, Roosevelt, Pacific, and we're adding Lindell and Lowellton.
Okay. And we're responsive to the demand, the question, the
There's some
request.
beaches that are problematic for putting mats for maintenance purposes.
Right.
But these, I've worked with beach maintenance, and we feel we can do our
That seems like pretty good coverage.
Yep. And if
Mindy's not here, she could tell us where they should be, but.
And if I could add, there's been quite a demand from the community, and Stacy has done a good job of going out and trying to get people who are interested in sponsoring it to even help do it. And this was one of the ones that Beach Terrace was able to basically
Oh, it's from
donate.
Beach Terrace?
Yeah, it's from Beach
Oh,
Terrace that
good,
will be funding the purchase of this mat. Nice job,
Right,
Stacy.
so they're going to go up to the Lindell ramp. Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
each beach has a different number of mats, depending how access we need to get to the, for our beach raking program. This location will have one mat, one 50-foot mat.
I guess that's because of when the rake goes by, right?
Yeah, the rake can't drive over the mats.
Right.
And when you have jetties, you have pinch points.
Right.
So we work with beach maintenance to make sure that they can get past all the different locations.
Right, okay. Any questions or comments? Anybody else? All right, thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Stacy.
Move to number 12, please. Thank you, Stacy, as well.
Item 12 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase battery backups for the city under a Sourcewell contract.
So the battery backups for the police department and city hall network servers are beyond their useful lives after 17 years in operation, and they require replacement. These units keep the servers running in the event of a power failure. Appropriate units are available via Sourcewell from SHI International for $30,367. Al Perez is here, who's much more versed in IT than I will ever be, to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Questions or comments on this?
So these were in place for 17 years?
Yes.
How long will these batteries last, and what is the useful life for these kind of batteries?
The new UPSs are lithium ion, so they're going to last a lot longer. The old battery systems were lead acid, and those batteries did not last 3-4 years at best. So lithium ion will probably last twice as long, maybe 3 times longer than the legacy system we have.
Okay, that's a long time. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Anybody else? Okay.
Thank you,
Move
Ken.
down- Move to number
Al, thank you. So safe.
number 13.
This item is for publication only, a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach for sale or discharge of fireworks, firearms, and other, with a hearing to be held June 2nd.
All
Item-
right. Okay.
It's just for publication.
Just for
so keep
Okay,
going,
right,
yeah.
great.
Item number 14 is for publication only, a resolution authorizing publication for a hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, re-bicycles, electric bicycles, and electric scooters. Item 15 for publication only, resolution authorizing publication for a hearing of a local law amending the Charter of the City of Long Beach, re-Environmental Quality Review Act. Item 16 is for publication only, resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, re-vehicles for hire. Item 17 is for publication only, resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, re-planning and zoning generally.
Could you just go, 1 second, I'm sorry. Back on 14, page 3 of item number 14, is that a typo, or am I not understanding where it says, any person violating any of these provisions of this section shall be liable for each offense to a fine of not less than $2, no more than $250, $500, or imprisonment? That would be, I don't, but the $500 looks like it's in bold.
Yeah, the bold is the change, so it's raising the maximum fine from $250 to $500.
Okay.
I think the $250 should be stricken.
Okay.
I'll make that correction.
Sorry, I'm not a nitpicker, but I just didn't understand that.
Nope, you are correct.
Okay, as you were. Sorry.
17. I think
You on
you're
15?
17, right?
17, I believe.
17, oh my gosh.
Item 17 is for publication only, a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, re-planning and zoning generally. Item number 18 is for publication only, a resolution authorizing publication for a hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, readmittance fees and passes for Ocean Beach Park. Item 19 was moved to the second slot for publication only, resolution authorizing publication for hearing of a local law amending Subpart C of related acts relating to charter of the City of Long Beach via local law to override the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law, Section 3C.
So I know this isn't the place to do it, Brendan, but do you mind if I just say a quick comment before we have the discussion next meeting on number 18?
Okay.
This is just to change the Code of Ordinances to basically say that by resolution, we could change Ocean Beach Park in the future. It is not saying that we're going to be raising fees for Ocean Beach Park this year, although there is a discussion about having a non-residents only passes raised, daily passes raised, either $1 or $1.50, but this is basically to make sure that in the future we could do that through resolution. It would still have to go to the public. It would still have to be done, but this is, just basically making it cleaner so that in the future you can make these changes without, it's not to push forward.
Whenever there is a fee schedule that's codified, things change, and it makes it much easier, obviously, just to pass a resolution updating the fee schedule as opposed to noticing a public hearing, having a public hearing. It's just a more extended process, and it accomplishes the same thing.
All right.
All right.
So we'll get to the public commentary on these items that we just featured. And that would be number 3.
No, I think you do it all together at once.
Oh, all together at once, right. Okay. Roy?
You're sticking with the 3 minutes for items?
Yes. The lightning round.
Lightning round, okay. The grant consulting services, I know you said 12 million within 4 years. How much was last year?
Tyler, come up. Why don't you keep going, Roy, because this really isn't supposed to be a question and answer session. It's supposed to be your comments.
Okay. On the Toorak Capital Partners, did we know that they had a mortgage on it?
I wasn't around, I can't tell you. The case was already in progress when I arrived here. So, I mean...
You didn't ask if they knew they had a mortgage on it?
Roy, even if I did ask, I'm not discussing an open settlement
Okay,
about
so
it.
then tell me. I won't discuss whether they knew you had a mortgage. I understand. You don't want to discuss what the city might have done. Okay.
Yes.
When did it begin?
All right, on the resolution on the automated locker systems, okay? It said in the backup documentation, we're talking about 7 feet by 2 feet and 100 lockers. I don't know where the numbers came from. How big are those lockers? That doesn't seem like very much. And we're talking $1 an hour?
I don't know the answer. Joe, do you know the answer to that?
The average size of locker is about 6 inches by 8 inches.
So it's really just for valuables. Just for valuables.
For wallet, keys, stuff like that, it's
Yeah.
small.
And $1 an hour? Is
doesn't
it automated? I mean, do you put the money in and then they'll...
I think it's
probably,
credit card,
probably
right?
an app.
It's credit card, right, Joe?
Yeah, it's an app.
It's an app. You're trying to get it for Jones Beach, I know.
No. People go in with their keys
At least
all
he's
the
got a
time.
sense of humor.
Okay, the Moby match. We're paying for 10 of them $19,000. For one more, we're paying $3,000. How come?
Are we paying $19,000 for 10, Ken? Or is it?
That's what you said.
I actually didn't say that today, but I only spoke about the one. But Ken, why don't we let Roy just keep going with his questions? We'll answer them all afterwards because this isn't a question and answer session. This is a comment period.
I'm sorry, again, what?
Okay.
Well, just keep asking the questions and we'll get you the answers.
Okay, in the intermunicipal agreement with Nassau County Parking Violations Bureau, those are only for disputed tickets. How much do we collect on the disputed tickets?
Keep going, Roy.
That's
Well,
it.
Okay. Tyler, you want to answer yours first, then Ken, and then
Sure.
if you know the
So,
answer, great.
last year's grant awards from our consulting company was $2.6 million.
Thanks.
The MobiMap purchases for the 10, the freight included all of them, so it was a reduced, different freight amount. And the single mat has a sponsorship mat that goes along with it, which is an additional cost, which is
A what mat?
a sponsorship mat. So if the sponsor has a piece of the mat that has their logo on it.
And so why do we have to pay for that?
Because they're paying for it.
Well, we're paying $3,000.
But
They're giving us the money for it.
It's part of the sponsorship. The sponsorship money will offset the cost of the mat.
So we're not going to be paying $3,000 like it says.
We are going to be paying $3,000, and they're going to be reimbursing us that plus some.
How much do we get from the sponsor?
Is it $3,500, Stacy? How much is it?
It's $4,000 per mat, and we've actually gotten 2 sponsored mats this season, so it's $8,000 in sponsorships for the mats.
I'm sorry, 4,000 a mat?
Yes.
We've gotten 4,000 a
We're
mat.
getting 10 for 19,000.
We're
Not all
getting
the mats are
$4,000 in sponsorships, it's not costing us $4,000 a mat.
9 mats are not being sponsored. They're coming, the city's paying for the 9 mats.
So the 10th mat?
The 10th mat in the first purchase rec is sponsored, and now
that's
the 10th,
and that's $3,000?
I would think, I'd have to go back. The freight is different on the 2 different orders, so it's not exactly the same
Yeah,
number.
I'm just trying to figure it out because it doesn't seem to make sense to me. Okay. Okay, and then the intermunicipal agreement?
So, by disputed, the issue here is there's no place for adjudication of these disputes. So the amount of money we have from disputed is 0, because we haven't had any trials on this, in 3 years. The only way to do it for us is we have to transfer it over to TIPFA. And frankly, it should have been done when the program started.
And how many were disputed?
How big is the backlog over the last 3 years?
How many were disputed here in Long Beach?
The backlog of cases that are to be tried, meaning people ask for a trial, is that what you're asking?
If that's what they're doing.
From the inception of the program to now, about 500 of them.
Okay, and when was the inception of the program?
23.
Okay, so in the last 3 years, 500, about 100 a year, and how much is that fine?
No,
for
I think
that?
it's all from that time period. It's not intervening.
It's from 23 to present,
Yeah.
because there was no place for adjudication, and I walked into the office, there's a 500-case backlog for people
I'm just
asking for
wondering
trials.
if it's $52,000 we're paying? If it's
Well,
worth it? It
the
doesn't
deal,
seem...
the deal is, and it was not negotiable with TIPFA. I tried. I went to the highest levels of county government, but they said that you were getting the same deal that everybody else in Nassau County is getting. And what that involves is you have to pay for non-disputed tickets, and then if they dispute it, you have to pay extra on top of that. So $18 for just every ticket that's issued, and then $18 again if they dispute the ticket and
Don't
need a
they
trial.
pay 9 of that?
What?
Don't they pay 9 of that
Bus
18?
patrol? Yes.
Okay, but then the 52,000 is a separate amount?
It's a one-time payment.
Yeah, it's 100 and something thousand total, but the city share is the 50-something thousand. Bus patrol is paying the other half, and this will...
And we're talking about 150 tickets a year, roughly.
That are disputed?
Yes,
Yeah.
you said
Yeah.
500, yes,
Yeah.
divided by 3, 160.
I mean, there's a lump sum payment that we have to deal with now that other municipalities didn't, only because they got TIPFA at the inception of the program. But TIPFA basically took the position of, it costs us more than $36 to have your bus trial. That's why we need to charge you for every ticket. We can't be flexible on the fees. So they said, if you want us to do it, we have to be paid this amount. And at that point, it became an existential question of, do we want to do the bus camera program or not? So,
Well, if it's costing us 52 and we're bringing in 10,000, I question.
no.
We're bringing
You're
in way
asking
more
about
than
the
that.
disputed tickets, Roy.
Yes.
You didn't ask me how much money the program generates total.
How much?
I think it's about $250,000 a year.
In Long Beach? In Long Beach?
What is it?
In Long Beach?
$200,000 a year. Sorry, I was
Long
off.
Beach people?
I don't know, whoever breaks the law.
What?
All right. We have another question from the public. Yes, in the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Judy. All right. Yes, come on. Yeah, come up. Yes.
As far as those lockers, I don't know if anybody has seen the ATM machine
Judy
next to
Moran.
Marvell that's rusted to like, I'm just concerned about those lockers that you said this is the first time they're doing it. I want them to be aware of what the ocean does to metal. And I just want everybody to just look at that ATM. I don't think it's functioning right now, but it's really disgusting, you know? And if you're gonna put metal lockers up there, they may just get as rusted, you know, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and number two, those mats, okay? My dream is to see the overpasses in the West End to be connected in some way of some flat boardwalk or something, because it is, it's a really nice place to come out and watch the sunset and everything, and how beautiful would it be to go from one overpass to the other? I'm thinking that maybe the mats for the summer may help if you go from one, because when we're trying to go to the bathroom from Georgia to Wyoming, it's a struggle. But if we had the mats along there, I know that we had a neighbor who was handicapped, and that's why we got the mat on Georgia, but especially us elderly people, you know, it's a struggle going through the sand to get to the bathroom, but I just thought maybe...
You mean the mat, like running along the snow fence?
Yeah, no, just to go from, let's say, when you come off the overpass, from overpass to overpass,
Right, yeah,
instead of going straight down to the beach.
Right, but you want it to go east-west rather than north-south?
Yes. Yeah.
So we run along,
well, you know,
along the
some.
fence line?
Yeah.
Right.
Not all, but, you know, it just would, like I said, my dream was to see a boardwalk kind of in the West End,
not a bad
but,
dream.
you know, that would be millions of dollars, I guess. And
Yeah, right.
this
It
building
would.
needs to be taken care of before
Yeah,
that.
well, that's
And
not-
I just want to say, I am very big into maintenance, and I think like you're spending a lot of money, but I don't think this building has been maintained properly, not with any of your faults, but if you look at the Long Island Railroad, that is disgusting. I rode that railroad for so many years, and they never painted. There was a mop sitting on the platform for at least 10 years. And I have pictures, okay? So even here, you have tape running along here. The conduits in Home Depot are a couple of dollars that you could put down here. So that's what I'm talking about. And these benches are much stronger than the ones in St. Ignatius Church. They are sturdy, and they could be sanded down. And, you know, there's a lot that could be done.
They're going to
you know.
redo the benches in St.
Yeah.
Ignatius. You know that? They are. Just found that out today. Yes. That's not, you know,
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Oneida. I'm CSCA Long Beach Secretary and also Local 882 Treasurer. Just quickly, I just want to speak on behalf of the board and myself. We represent both full-time and part-time members. And as chairwoman of the Contract Negotiations Committee, along with the city, with its lawyers and our presidents from all the units that we represent, safety, raising wages, job security, and health benefits is what we fight for, and it's a continuous fight. So personally, again, on behalf of the board, we just want to thank you for taking the time and coming to an agreement for both the lifeguards and the lifeguard officer units, and I kindly request that you vote yes for items 7 and 8. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for coming up. Thank you. Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand, I'm sorry.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. Just wanted to say on the union contracts, always fighting for the union workers. And any time we can fix up where the firemen that are volunteering or paid, again, they run in where we run out, so the capital projects to fix that up. Thank you, Ken, not Sourcewell. Thank you both for doing what you do. And also, just wanted to say, you know, I could probably say that doing good in welfare. But again, I will request that you continue to work with CSEA. on their contract, and the part-timers, the full-timers, always here. I've been coming here since the early 90s consistently. So when some councils get in and go out, I've been here. I was part of one of the first City of Long Beach community groups coming together just to speak at the council meetings. So I love coming here to continue to fight for the community, no matter which part of the community. And so again, on the union, please think about those part-timers that are working out in inclement weather, uniforms, extra salaries there. $15 an hour is not enough, and please give them what they fairly and rightly deserve as we speak about exempts that may be rightfully making $100,000 or $200,000, but look at the low man on the totem pole and see if we can bring him up. Because once we bring everybody up, we're all doing good. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like that's it. Oh, okay, Ron.
Paganini. I just want to congratulate this council on the fireworks penalty for raising it from $250 to $15,000. This administration is the only administration on Long Island that's proactive on these crazy fireworks. And we're talking about the mortar bombs. These crazy bombs that destroy you. And with the policy that you had in place last year, it worked out very well. And by raising the penalties, you know, it gives the police department a little more force. You know, in other words, stop. If we have to come back, you're going to get a ticket for $15,000. So I applaud you on it. It's disgusting the way it went on. And within 2 years of what you've done, we don't hear that crap on the weekends all year anymore by me. They're afraid to do it because you guys and the commission, I had to thank, you know, Richie DePalma big time on this thing, to stop that crap till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 in the morning, whenever they want to do it. When people have to go to work, or people are sick, and animals, you know, pets and children. So you guys really, I mean, I applaud you for that, and it's working, and this will finalize it. I don't mind fireworks. We don't mind the ones that pop up into the air, the rockets and all of that stuff. That's fine. We're all patriots, you know? But there has to be a limit to it and what is actually being exploded. So thank you very much, and I'm sure a lot of people who are listening will thank you again. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, you know, President Finn and all the council, every one of you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. I'll say the thanks go out to the commissioner and the cops. You know, we got great cops in this town. They're proactive and they're reactive to what we need. So thank you. You're doing your job, but it's good to thank the cops for doing their job. Okay, I think that we close it out, and let's close it. One second.
Yeah, the stuff that we're pushing, we can't. Right. Well, no, we vote on it. We could do the capital plan, and you can do items.
We're just deciding what we can block vote.
Let's just go item by item. That's what I'm saying, it might be a little easier now.
Let's just go item by item. Confusion.
We can do it. It's item 1, and then 3 through the rest. 3 through 19. Item 1 and 3 through 19.
What about 10?
He's going to abstain from 10. When it comes to him, we'll say, I vote yes to
Okay.
yes to item 10.
So, do you understand, Kerry? Is that,
To block vote, it has to be unanimous, yes. So if anyone's saying no to any item, I can't block vote it.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then
So let's just go item by item.
No, just exclude 10. You could do 1, 3 through 9, and 11 through 18. 1, 3, 11, 19. And
So-
that leaves 10.
Right, so we're going to block vote 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Do you vote for the, on the publications?
Yeah, it's a resolution authorizing publication. Just say yes.
Okay?
Okay, so that's President Finn, that's a motion to block vote, move and introduce item 1, 3 through 9, and 11 through 19.
Yes.
All right, second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiamara?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to table too?
Did you close the budget?
We didn't close number 2.
So then it should be adjourned to the May 29th meeting.
Right, we didn't close it because we're keeping it open until May 29th.
Okay, so that's a motion to adjourn the meeting to the May 29th.
That's correct.
And continue the public hearing?
I think you closed.
Or close the public hearing?
Yeah, we closed
Close
the public hearing.
so a motion to adjourn voting on item number 2 to the May 29th meeting.
Yes.
Okay, that's a motion by President Finn.
Second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiamara?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Item number 10 is a resolution for authorizing the city manager to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Nassau County Traffic and Parking Violations Agency. Who will introduce and move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second? Okay, Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Abstain?
Vice President Fiamara?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Okay. The city manager's personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I will.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiamara?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes. Okay, Anna. We have music. When you walk up with that, we should have good and welfare music. Thank you. Judy Moran?
This morning, I was going to the senior center for a class, and a woman came up to me who lives on West Park and Florida Street, pretty far from the Cabana. And she said to me, "I feel so sorry for you. Sunday was just horrible for her. My neighbor across the street has a brand new baby, and she was at a wedding, and her mother was taking care of a 2-month-old. She said it was unbearable. okay? She told me, I have no investment in this house, so I am not going to go complain. I do have an investment in my house. Last week, I had to go to a funeral in Virginia. I came home to bad news from a cousin. I had to go out to Ronkonkoma. All I wanted to do was to come home and have some peace and quiet, but I couldn't. It was unbearable. The noise is not, the music is not mixed right. The pounding of that bass was just horrible. And nobody wants to help me. Nobody wants to help any of my neighbors, okay? And I've told you before, you've asked about second kitchens. You haven't done anything about the second kitchen surrounding me. So I just don't know where the answer is, but please, somebody, either I think you have a beautiful business there. You have a lot of people who love that place. But looking at it for porta potties, and Mr. Ennis, you said you were going to be beautifying the West End. Well, why is your campaign sign still up since November? Okay, it's right there in plain sight of my dining room table. So I would just, please, do it among yourselves. Just please see if you can come to some conclusion about this.
Okay, thank you. James Hodge?
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. Well, part of what I want to say is that, Mr. President, you kind of threatened me a lot with not allowing me to speak and decorum and tone. But I must say to you that you said you have a really good attorney here, Mr. Kaminsky, and I know him. I hope he's letting you know that you can't check my tone. You can't tell me how to speak. It's protected under the First Amendment. And there's many lawsuits to protect that. If you don't believe me, you can look up civil rights lawsuit under Section 42 U.S.C. 1998. And so passionate criticism of government officials is fully protected by the First Amendment. Federal courts have established that decorum rules cannot be used to silence residents simply because you dislike my tone or my message. And so I say to you, sometimes I get a little passionate. It's my prerogative. And so it's all on video, and I put you on notice. I've saved the city millions of dollars in litigation when I was let go in 2023. You weren't here. But I would not want you to test me and Mr. Fred Brewington suing the city now. I don't want the city to have to put a lot of money out. And Mr. Kaminsky can look at when I was let go and fired. He'll see that I had a good lawsuit. But I saved the city a lot of money and when I was let go from the city. I could have sued, I didn't. And so don't try to intimidate me or insert fear. That's what you do to maybe some of the council members when they get ready to speak. But when I get ready to speak, you allow me to speak because that's my First Amendment right to be able to do that. I can send you some case study law. We have video of others getting a little bit louder, but you always kind of seem like you want to come to me and tell me about decorum. And so you are a professor and you teach very well. That means you know how to study. So just look up decorum in a city council meeting, President. I just get a little passionate. That's what I do. And I thank you when you give me the time to speak, but sometimes you try to control or silence me. And so I say to you, when you're doing all of the hiring also, think about, and everybody may be great here. I love my Uncle Phil. But think about some diversity when you're hiring. There's no black people every time I see the whole administration here. There's no black people on the council. I understand that, but I don't know if any in the lawyer Corporation Council or wherever. And so I finished my time. But I just say, if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. And so when I'm here, I'm speaking for the whole Long Beach, but I'm speaking passionately also for the people that everybody should be represented. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Jackie Odom.
Congratulations, Dan, on your appointment.
Jackie Odom, Long Beach, New York. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
The Long Beach MLK Center is proud to announce our annual Juneteenth celebration, hosted in partnership with the Long Beach City and the CSCA. This year's theme is honoring the past, inspiring the future. We will be honored to have you join us for this special occasion as we come together to educate, entertain, and enlighten our community. During the celebration, we will take a special moment to recognize and to congratulate John Mooney on his promotion to the president of the CSA Long Island. Also, Devin Parker on his promotion as president of the CSCA and the City of Long Beach, unit number 7569. Your team is lucky to have you. Devin, hoorah. Also remembering Jacobo Thomas, promoted to the first vice president. Your hard work has paid off. Remembering Juneteenth celebration is a desire to educate, entertain, and to enlighten all that attends that affair. Event details. Friday, June the 19th, 2026. Time 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Location, MLK Center, located at 610 Riverside Boulevard, Long Beach, New York. We invite the entire community to participate in this meaningful celebration. Should you have any required information, further information, please feel free to contact at 516-240-2230. Looking forward to your presence. We can't do this without you. Thank you for my space.
Thank you, Jackie. I hope it's a great party. I hope to be there. Wanda Brooks.
Good evening, all.
Wanda.
I have handouts. Thank you. While she's handing that out, I'd like to know who is in charge of putting the lights up at the parks. The wattage on the lights? No? Any ideas? Anybody?
Everything will fall under DPW at some point, like to get lights up in the park, but are you asking for new lights or replacements of?
Well, they're new, but my question is, I don't have a
You're saying they're rusted out?
handout for everybody. I'm sorry to make you get up again.
You're saying they're rusted out? They're corroded?
I have a question on why that seems so bright, the picture.
So bright.
Yes, they gave you a picture.
Oh, this one. Too bright?
I think so. Leroy Conyers.
What time was that taken? Do you have any idea?
No.
No, they come on automatically. I just want to know what the wattage is. Is that required in all the parks, or?
We'll check on that, Ken.
I
Ken,
just-
if you could just check Leroy Conyers Park and just see if there's something we could do about the lights.
That's too bright, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, unless you.
I got a house next to me with a really bright light. and I don't like it either.
Okay. Okay, now in my handout, the first 3 pages are the condition of the seesaws
That's-
in
oh, that's
Leroy
on the-
Conyers
right.
Park.
That's corroded, I guess, huh?
Yes,
How old is it?
very. I have no idea. Do we know?
This is also Leroy Conyers?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
I'll
seesaw.
share these pictures with Ken and Joe afterwards. I'll make sure that they're aware of them.
Okay, and the next pictures are the area of the water area. I was here last year asking that that area be updated. As you can see, it's disgusting.
That same park?
Yes, Leroy Conyers, the water area.
Right.
I was told that the water fixtures were going to be painted and that they're on the agenda to be painted. It's only 5 little fixtures. It's not even going to take 2 hours to clean and to paint those.
Okay.
I just want to know a timeline, because I was here last year with the same
Same-
questions, the same request.
I'll get someone on that. Ken, this was a job that we were putting out, weren't we, with the guys, with John and them?
Does he have one? I'll give
Yeah.
him mine.
Okay. Okay. Do me a favor, check in with Wanda after she's done.
Okay, but the seesaw is new. I wasn't talking about that last year. But since I go through there, it's my shortcut, and I seen that that's terrible. And I don't want someone to get to break in half or whatever and someone get hurt.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about this after the meeting to get a timeline? Yes. Okay, thank you, I appreciate, thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you. Ron Paganini. It's like a trifecta tonight, Ron. Not really.
It's a great night to be here, you know that. Ron Paganini, Long Beach. I just wanted to remind you about the canals to get a test of the water before the swimming, before people start jumping in. I'm sure, listen, if you do one canal or 2, they're probably all the same. You know what I mean? Just get it done, we'll take it from there.
Right.
You know, and whatever.
Yep.
So we can do that before the people jump in, Dan?
Yeah, I don't see why we can't.
I don't think so. Ken, do you want to touch on this one? Because we had a lot of conversations about this one. It's county, right, that has to come in and do that, right?
Protection Human Health is the health department's requirement to sample for. They have what they call permitted beaches, and that's where they sample. Jumping in a canal is not a permitted area to swim, so there is no sampling that is done in those locations. That's why there's the New York Alert System, which is a system anybody can sign up for. If there's any water quality issue, it's posted in that system for people to understand any impairments that exist.
So what does that mean?
You're not supposed to swim there.
Yeah.
But I know you're not swimming there anyway.
I know not to swim there.
And I hope nobody's diving for clams there.
They're swimming in there, so that's my
Are there
problem.
people really swimming in the canals?
Yes. People are swimming in the canals.
This ain't the 1970s.
So the bottom line is, maybe you should just put up a sign, no swimming. How's that?
Yeah.
On
that
every
works.
canal.
That works. Right.
Can we do that?
Yeah. Can we?
Yeah, we should be able to get signs up on the big.
I don't know if I'm not sure if we're taking on any liability by doing that. I'd have to. Yeah, because
We'll talk with
We need
Craig
to talk to
after,
the
too.
county
All
health
right.
department.
See what you can do. If you put no swimming, you know what? That finishes it, right?
No swimming or clamming.
No, well, just
Okay.
put no swimming.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you could do that, that's probably be the easiest thing, and leave it alone. So, next meeting, I'll ask you, because you got to look into it a little more, right, Dan?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Oh, we're all out of contestants for the night. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. May 29th will be our next meeting with the budget. Have a great night. Arrive home safely. I would have had 10 o'clock.
So would I.
When I was a kid, I saw